Hey there, everybody. Wait, I'm recording, aren't I? Yes, I am. Good. Alright, well, welcome back to the 2v2 League. Gonna be actually a rematch, I didn't realize that, between Kharakid Ice Cream. Big shout out to the corporate sponsor and the Unbound here, consisting of BlueBoo and Mazrym. And like I said last video, the Unbound playing is something we're gonna see quite a lot, I think, just because of how hard it is to schedule games for some reason. Let's see here. Map is going to be the Shallows, of course. That map where two music tracks play at the same time, you know the one. And it's a very interesting map. This player here is very difficult to assail at the beginning of the game, but he's very, very close. I mean, everyone's very close to each other. Rush distances are very small. It's just kind of it's a very action-packed map, I generally tend to feel. And all players going to go for really early LAV fabrication, or, you know, strikecraft fabrication at least, which I think is appropriate for the map. Looking at the players here, BlueBoo and Mazrym, same factions. Frosty's Coalition and Kawashimala's Gala. Okay, so Frosty's changed the coalition, but other than that, all the faction choices are the same, right? And it looks like, at least in the early stages of the game, it's going to be Blue versus Cal. It's going to be Mazrym versus Frosty. That's kind of how it tends to go down anyway. It's always hard to say because it's very easy to collaborate with your teammate here, but I think that particular configuration is sort of even, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel Mazrym probably the more experienced player on the Unbound team, Frosty probably the more experienced player on the Kharakid Ice Cream team. That's my thought anyway, just based on the last game. Whoa, look what's happening to my camera. See that? Oh man. This is wonky. Ah, see, look, you thought this was a grassland. There's just sand underneath it. Sorry to break your imagination, as the Turks say. This probe gonna get found by an LAV almost immediately. Oh, but it's not getting targeted, so that's nice for him. Probably could have been a dead probe right there, but that's alright. Base runner gonna get taken out, I believe, here. This blaster actually getting kind of low, but he should be okay. This blaster in here probably shouldn't be chasing. No. Oh. That's unfortunate. Where's Mazrym going here? He wants to set down a turret, perhaps, and he can do this pretty much unopposed. 3 LAVs does not a dead turret make, even with, you know, like, perfect micro. And we're seeing good micro here, as Frosty immediately chooses to target it, but, oh, the turret only fired one shot, did you see that? Well, that could change things. Yeah, I think it will. Normally you need... Oh, and it did it again. Is there some way to get the turret to stop shooting at you? Because if that's the case, then that's a thing. Anyhow, looks like Blue gonna send his sand scanners over here to take out these LAVs. And what are the builds looking like? Mazrym going early eco. Cal, are you doing that too? No, I'm going for soul chips once again, but much faster this time, which I think is nice. And I don't think we have so many big floats here anymore. Still a couple, but not anything like we saw last time. Cal just spent a bunch of resources. Is that on a production cruiser? I think it probably was. Yeah, it is. Turret set up in a good location here, and that's going to neutralize that push entirely. And I think this base runner probably has no business being alive. There's too many sand skimmers. I think it'll probably go down if it gets pushed anyway. I mean, I suppose it could not. Actually, it is true that these sand skimmers are definitely the bigger threat to these ones here, so perhaps that's actually incorrect. And Blue, with some pretty good micro there, actually manages to pull this guy out and keep him alive for significantly longer, which has allowed him to even up the numbers here, so that was pretty impressive. And he will now begin to win this fight here. The steam overlay is blocking my vision of, like, the sand skimmer. I can't tell what upgrades they have. Yeah, armor to armor 2, so that was a fair fight, and he won it fair and square, which is pretty cool. That was some good micro, I think. Let's see here, Frosty, what are you doing? He's got AVs and he has a couple out on the field. Still no sign that he's moving up to... No, wait, yeah, there definitely is. He's actually producing one right now. A sport cruiser, I mean. So he's expanding his eco now. Mazrym needs to have some kind of an answer to these AVs, and he's got railgun fabrication, so I imagine he'll just make some of those. Yep, you see him on the queue. What's Blue going for here? Also another production cruiser, just as Kawashimala has done, but once again, he doesn't... No, he does now. He's got assault ships as his tech choice. So I feel like all these players doing much better than they did last game, and just kind of keeping control of, like, Like, they know what they're going for. They have actually, like, a plan this time, and they're sort of following to it. They're sticking to their plan, you know? And that is really cool. The music, meanwhile, just going crazy. I don't even know what's happening, because, you know, it's the Shallows, right? It's so funny how that happens. Mazrym would like to stop this extraction, but I don't think he can he? I mean, even if he does get vision on this base runner at this point, it'll still get out. He could put some damage out on that base runner, though, and that's always a good thing. And Cal, I know, has gotten assault ship tech, but he hasn't started building them yet. He's probably going to want to do that now. Yep, there you go. Because his opponent is indeed moving some of those out at him. And Blue moving this production cruiser here, which makes me very hopeful he's going to click up to refinery mode pretty soon. And indeed, he's at the number of resources for it, pretty much. Yes! That's what I like to see, because I feel like that's obviously the right move, and it's something that he often doesn't do, so... And he's got a bit of momentum here. He can at least damage this the second base for sure, which is mining efficiently off of refinery mode, so that's not a bad pickup at all. And the fact that he has the assault ship fight going on over here means he's not going to be fought over there where he could lose salvagers. I do think he's getting baited by these skimmers a little bit though, and I think this is a very juicy target and one that you want to go for even at the expense of units. That's going to be completely fine. And indeed, he can watch to see if this carrier strays too far out, and if that's the case, he can actually push in there and get the main too, but with carrier block as a potential, I don't think there's any way he can push past it and just kind of ignore it. Mazrym going to try to set down a turret, it seems, but he really should not put that down. I'll be pretty sad if he does. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to. And that goes down, but once again, Blue backing away, and I feel like, even though you will take damage, you could have gotten these salvages here. I think that would have been fine. That would have been a good trade for you, essentially. Mazrym going to lose a couple railguns here to Frosty's LAVs, which is nice for Frosty Teeth, as he goes up to Power Reserve 1 as well. Turret going to get harassed a bit in the middle, but nothing really serious going to go down over there. And Frosty's got AAVs and Strikecraft. That seems to be enough to hold off his opponent's rails right now. Though we usually would think of that as a bit more of the flimsy option, because railguns are a very good counter to AAVs. AAVs are the counter to Strikecraft, but only when they get close, right? But it's holding him off for now, so that's good. Mazrym long distance mining off of that location right there, and he probably wants to get another production cruiser pretty soon, or support cruiser that is, and I think that's what's on that queue, just based on the build time. Always a little difficult to tell, but I believe it is. Some more assault ship scuffling going to go on over here, and Blue has also researched railguns now, which I think is a pretty cool choice there. He may have some trouble if Cao Shmao is indeed making, what are they called? Interceptors, but I think there's definitely some momentum he's got here where he has these railguns out, which is going to allow him to very easily win the assault ship war, and he could push in and start doing damage to Eco, which we didn't see him do just earlier. I would love to see him do that now. He's going to... No, don't get scared away by one assault ship, man. You can take this easy. The thing that's different between this and StarCraft 2, because I'm saying this because he is a StarCraft 2 player, or at least he was like a Brood War player, right? Is that like... your units, when they're in the right scenario, they feel completely overpowered. That's the idea, you know what I mean? And so right now you're in the right scenario where you've got heavy rails against his assault ships. You won't take any damage, actually, let alone just like trading efficiently. So you've got momentum now and you need to use it. That's one of the things that's very different, I think, about DOK, is that your units don't feel good in the right scenario. They feel like absolutely broken, which of course they're not actually, because they have scenarios where they'll fail too. But pretty much, you know, when you have a good fight, you need to take it because it's going to be a very good fight. You know what I mean? Now there are interceptors. There's only one interceptor in the pipe actually for Cao Shmao over here. Railgun's getting caught out again, actually, from Mazrym, and at this point I would say he needs to get the heavy vehicles armor upgrades, because that's clearly something that he's struggling with. Indeed, strike fighters are also out, and there is air for Cao, so gonna need to get some anti-air of some kind, or these players. Sport Cruiser anti-air wouldn't be a bad move. He can stay kind of back at home, but his ally, I think, needs to get missile ships probably at this point. He could go for interceptors too, but because Cao's already got them, I don't know. And I think Blue's, yeah, there you go, that's exactly what I was going to say. He's kind of focusing a bit too much on the fact that this carrier is in middle in the aggressive position. What he really should think is, well, that means it's not here, so why don't I just go in and do whatever I want? And indeed, he's going to, and that that's really the danger when you're just going to move away from your bases like that with the carrier a bit too early. I'd also like to point out, look how many resources this guy's got. We could see at least something, you know, back here to defend against this, but there's nothing there. As a production cruiser goes down and salvagers also definitely going to follow, this is beginning to look rather grim for Couch now. And these Sandscrimmers can just run right up here, up on top. That's completely fine, you know, they can do that. So one base taken out, one base gonna run into some trouble as perhaps the salvager or so will go down. There is an assault ship here which will cast these men away, but that was kind of dramatic. Why did I say it like that? But a lot of good damage being done here by BlueBoo. And now he could suffer a bit by not having any anti-air in the area, but he's researching it though, so he'll be fine. And indeed, the kill count I think was 2 salvagers. Both the RU oh, and it could have been 3 because as you can see, the damage not particularly well distributed right here. But that's definitely some good damage. That's really the start that they needed. The Unbound, that is. And Interceptor's actually getting taken out to close air defense, which I think is a little bit sloppy. And it looks like an anti-air turret or 2 actually was set down over here to cover the anti-air for Mazrym, so last Interceptor also going to get killed that way. And that'll happen if you don't micro the Interceptors. They'll have some trouble if you just leave them on their own, kind of. As you can see, this production cruiser and the base runner are actually doing enough damage to kill and almost kill a second strike fighter. If it flies in again over this anti-air, it could run into some serious troubles, but the anti-air turret post's definitely doing their job. Indeed, not even going to get the base runner. So this base runner going to survive with very low health, but that is health enough. And a 225 health unit can definitely extract an artifact. And eventually it will if things continue how they are right now, because this is a siege that Cow cannot, you know, he can't maintain it. He's just taking damage for free, so eventually he'll have to leave the extraction zone and that artifact should score. In which case, I would say probably put down an anti-air turret post right here. You know your ally hasn't gotten the anti-air just yet, and that could really help him, so you know you might as well, and it'll keep this base runner alive. Either that or just a straight turret post that are run by LAVs, or indeed this assault ship right here. Ooh. I would target the base runner, because I think that's the only thing you're going to really get here, but it's not going to go down, so he'll be fine. And at this point I'd say he can run to that extraction zone, he'll be safe. What's going on elsewhere? Let's see, so Frosty's still not on a third base, I think everyone else is. That's going to be putting him rather far behind. He just lost all of his air too, right? And he's going to go for BC fabrication, which is pretty interesting, but I think he's seen these railguns from Mazrym. He definitely has seen the rails and honor guard cruiser from his opponent though, so I don't know if I really support this move particularly much. I feel it's kind of already countered by what's out on the field. This honor guard cruiser, by the way, taking a lot of damage now actually. And BlueBoo has gone for honor guard anti-air, which is something we very rarely see, but I think that could be good in this scenario. Because that is like very good anti-air. It's just that it disables the main weapon of the gun and whatever, but like you can use that in this kind of scenario. And I'd actually like to see how it performs, because we don't often see it, right? There are 2 honor guards in this place, as well as a bunch of heavy railguns. This is where things get really nasty, right? As well as Conf cruise missiles hitting in from BlueBoo, and they're doing a good they're doing a good job of putting the hurt down on this carrier. More railguns going to get taken out here, and this has really slowed the Unbound quite a lot, the fact that they keep losing railguns this way. But an LAV scuffle going to go down here, and the upgrades do favor Mazrym somewhat. And I think friendly fire favors you too. I think that it does more damage to them than it does to you, so he's going to be happy with that one as well. Base runner should definitely extract right here. This is a window where you can do it, and he won't really be opposed at all. And that would be the game-winning artifact right there for BlueBoo, so that's definitely a win condition of theirs that they're very close to. This honor guard cruiser is basically healed up to full, which is always nice. I think they can stop this extraction without too much trouble, but they don't even really need to. Yep, Mazrym has seen it. He's going to move his base runner into the extraction zone. And Frosty making some battle cruisers, but that's only going to help them if they can survive this, which I don't think they can. Because battle cruise is just going to be way too slow to get to that area in time, you know what I mean? Honor guard cruiser is just going to smack down these railguns here, no trouble at all. Artifact is extracted. And like I said, 225 health units can extract. I think I said it really well earlier at some point. I said something like 1% health units do 100% damage, right? Like, gotta kill them things what's injured, right? And Cal really moving in the wrong direction here, but who can blame him? He's up against this. He doesn't really want to be there, I don't think. Gonna run into some railguns on this side too, though. But it shan't matter too much, as BlueBoo going to extract an artifact right here, and at this point I really don't think there's anything anyone can do to stop it. Even if there is air on the field, which there's not, but if there was, you know, there's 3 honor guard cruisers here to do anti-air. That's more than enough. And I think that's game. So, well played to the Unbound here. I feel like they really analyzed, you know, what happened last game, and they made a very good course correction. You know, they completely fixed all those problems that I was talking about. Maybe not completely, but very, very well. You know, I was impressed by their performance here, so that's always very fun to see. Only thing I was a little distressed about was how many railguns got killed over here, but that's all right. They did end up winning this game, so they've drawn, I guess you could say, 1-1. I think they'll both be pretty happy with this. I hope they enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I said you guys, it's such a YouTuber thing, I'm sorry. But I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be.